Previous session, you left the camp in the middle of the forest where you were
Yes.
attacked by, well, the camp. Not only, not only the cauldron where there was a paste being made attacked you, but also a broom that was there to clean also attacked you. Even the campfire itself attacked you and tried to consume you. However, you were able to avoid the dangerous campfire and it was happy to consume the broom instead. You have offered some food to the campfire, increasing its radius and its luminescence. The campfire, on the other hand, offered some information after you gave it what it wanted. The campfire said that the tenders, the ones that put it there, had left quite a while ago and left it with nothing to feed upon. But he could still see all the small pieces of food walking around in the forest. You can only assume that he means kindling, that he means the wooden creatures that you have seen walking in the forest as well. Grabbing the remains of the cauldron that has attacked you, you decided to continue on the path, taking care of the few scratches that you have while you travel. And just as you are starting to travel, Alyssa's torch finally goes out, and you are in the dark. As soon as the torch goes out, it takes half a minute for the rest of the forest also quietly extinguish itself. There's no more ghostly fire around, only darkness and you guys. What do you do?
Oh. Does anyone have any source of light?
No, I don't think I have anything. No, they were so heavy. I dropped them.
What? I am a pillar of light for my team.
I mean, they can feel that, but I can't really see that.
I am pretty sure my players will decide to go shopping next time they head anywhere.
Let's see, what do I have?
Well, it is dark, and I can also go invisible, which is very nice.
All right. I grab one of
really see how that helps us.
I grab one of the stakes out of my belt. You know, the wooden stakes. And I start just like flinting on the end, trying to see if I can get it to light like a torch.
Yeah, the problem isn't exactly the piece of wood. If you want, you can take the burnt end of Alyssa's torch and use it. That's not the real problem. The problem is fuel. Something to burn and not burn too quickly.
Yeah.
You guys have any idea?
Perhaps we could.
Who can see in the dark can see, well, very, very badly. As you can imagine, you can't see much. But you can see some shapes here and there, bit of the dark, everything grayish. Strange, ominous shadows moving on the. Perhaps it's nothing and just your imagination. You feel like an NPC guard. What's been the win?
Can I try to? Because the cauldron, it produced goop, right, which I have in a bottle. Could I try to smear that goop on the stake and light it on fire then? In a desperate attempt to get light?
Well, do you have something to light the fire?
I can use druid craft to create small fires and light torches and
That's
campfires and
excellent.
stuff like that.
The goop
Teamwork!
doesn't light on fire. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be flammable.
Okay.
It's
Worth a try.
smelly though.
It's still smelly though.
Okay, sorry guys. I really thought this might have been an idea, but perhaps we should move away because I don't really like this smell.
Alyssa, are you hearing any animals out there?
Highly doubtful.
Actually, yes. That's not a bad point. Do I hear any animal sounds that I can recognize? Animals that I can be like, yeah, I know what that animal is.
Not at all. It's something that you have realized in the forest before that I mentioned when you were in the dark. You don't hear the sound of animals. There's no chirping of birds. There's no distance. No distant chipmunks. There's no monkeys. Not even the buzzing of insects. It's really, really quiet.
Go figure.
Almost haunted.
I don't like this choice of words.
I have a very, very, very cool idea, but I need to kind of break character and ask you a question, DM. Would I know of any wild companions that emit light? Like a fae of sort.
Well,
Would that count?
well,
Oh, no, they're beasts. They're beasts.
Well, you need to.
Where's the...
Actually, yes. Yes. Yes, actually. There is something. It's a very unique strategy, but it's
Wait, is he gonna become what my character fears most? A giant fire beetle?
he's not going to become his plan.
Yeah,
It's true.
I'm doing something a little bit different.
Create a spirit. And let me show you something. There it is. Indeed.
Yeah.
I get one image here. Really quick. In your lands, there is this insect. Very common. Lives underground. Mountains. You people call it a very creative name. If you translate it in English, you can become something similar to Torchbook.
Okay.
Being completely honest is much more creative in your native language, but if you have to translate it, it's Torchbook. And it's
Okay, so yeah.
small flying insect. And if you have seen those before, so you could use your wild companion ability.
So I pull out my little pipe, and I pack in
Finish here?
a couple of things. Oh, sorry, you still busy?
Yes.
Oh,
This
sorry.
image. And there's this
Ooh, there it is.
huge insect is almost the size of your head, and it emits some light. Not much, but some. Now you can go.
Oh. Alright, so I take the pipe, pack it up, do the smoking thing, and also like and then the smoke starts glowing from the inside. A little bug comes out of the smoke. So this head-sized lamp bug decides to come forth from the smoke. Right, a little light from back home. Hopefully, this will guide us out here. I mean, get rid of my charges as well now.
I'm gonna look at Spuckner and be like, so are we sure he smoked the pipe and not us?
What? What? What?
Am
do
I
you
the
mean?
only one? Am I the only one seeing that where there was once a little man, there is now a swattable insect?
He doesn't.
It's not a
It's not
beach,
me.
He does. He doesn't.
I summoned it.
Oh, we
The-
summoned it.
Yes.
I will completely bluff back at you. Well, of course, with my special magical sense, I can feel that he can do that sometimes.
I'm gonna
Okay,
sit
let's
down
move.
very. I'm gonna sit down very confused and be like, ugh, my brain.
Right.
This
So-
helps you. This helped you, a little, because in fact, the little creature that is summoned, you pull it here. This insect flies around, happily flying around. It gives off a bit of light. After it shakes a little, its thorax lights up, and it gives off light. And let me show you guys. It's a lot of light.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Well, it's not that much, but it's light, nonetheless. And
Exactly. Good boy.
as it flares up and starts flying around Zeke's head, and sometimes flies off a little, then comes back and flies around a little more. This spiritual creature gives out some light, and that light doesn't light up the forest. It's just that little mote of light that you guys are carrying by this creature, and that doesn't give off lots and lots of light and whole forest on fire, making it very clear that you guys are coming.
Fantastic. Right. I assume we should keep moving, try and make our way to the monastery.
Yeah, I think that's best.
Very, very smart move. Congratulations. And here, you guys can see it's the poor creatures. Poor creature. Bar. Zeke, you will have control of the creature because it's your. I recommend that you take a look at Find Familiar and familiarize yourself with the spell.
Yeah.
And because you have spent,
One of my wild shapes, yep.
yeah, and
Yep.
it's actually quite useful. So I am going to put it as a companion. But that was a very good idea. Right.
My little light friend. Into these beats.
There is some interesting things that you can have with Find Familiar. I am going to link for all players. It makes it easier. Let me put it on your sheet.
Yeah.
9. Didn't pull. There we go. This is quite useful for you guys. The creature acts independently, but I use the house rule that the creature acts on your turn, after your turn, just like Tasha's. And there's something useful in there. When the creature is within 100 feet, you can communicate with it telepathically. And you can also use your action to see its senses. Not only you guys have a light, but you have a kind of a scout. And this creature blind sight. That can be useful as well.
Okay. All right. Blind sight.
It can see it without the need of
Light.
light and without vision. So it's not affected by the creature isn't affected by darkness.
Okay, so it's a sonar guy. Okay, I can dig it.
Alright. And now that you guys have dealt with the problem of darkness and being ambushed in the dark, because now you have some light, you are continuing the path heading to the monastery, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the torch bug will continue with you until the end, until the next rest. Of course, unless it's killed before, but you don't have to worry with light for now. And in fact, you don't seem to attract too much attention in the forest. Now that now that you are not walking in the dark, completely out in the dark, and now that the forest isn't lighting up on fire as you move, you don't seem to attract a lot of attention. The forest remains silent. And after what must have been 1 hour of walking, perhaps, you come across a small creek. This small creek has a equally small bridge crossing it, no more than 10 feet. Not a problem. Crossing it is not a problem, but it's a different sound. The sound of rushing water. It's not that much, but there is something. Yes, unless it's killed silently, it's almost haunted. The cold water reflects the light of the torch bug, but since you guys are not traveling in the dark, and the creature is actually emanating light, you can see proper reflections, things that you would have missed if you were in the dark. One of the things you can see is that one of the shores of the creek, there is some blood on the ground, taking the mud forming a kind of a bloody mud around here, as if there was a sign of violence at that part. Of course, the path continues after the small bridge. What do you do?
I want
Oi.
to check out that blood.
Well, you go down the small bridge and go to that muddy region in there amid some reed and some plants where there's red and this strong scent of blood in there. Well, let me take a look at your perception. Oh, nice. Very shitty. Now I remember. Your perceptions are really, really shitty. Now everything's coming back to me now. Oh yes. Oh yes. You realize when you get there, Alyssa, you realize that there's the blood that is there has let's say it wasn't shed here, but a little upstream, actually a little higher ground, and it just what is the word? Just flow down the lower part and into the water. It's still humid, but it's of course it's very, very cold. But there is this small trail of blood. You are still in sight of the light. There's this small trail of blood from where the blood came from. Appears to have come from around there, some 10 feet away from you, around that tree. That is a bit further away from the path, far from the light, because it's not much light that you guys have. Do you follow?
Can I tell how fresh the blood is?
It's strange. It's not dry, but you didn't expect it to be dry because it's a forest, of course, and there was a recent flood, so the whole region is humid. Didn't expect it to be totally dry, but it's not fresh. And that comes with your 15 passive survival. You can be sure that it's not fresh.
All right. I sit down in a meditative, contemplative monk stance. Pull out my pipe, start smoking, and I just want to try through the eyes of the torch bug. Give the rim a scan, especially flying over the water and stuff, checking to see if I can see anything moving.
Very well. Lisa, I've realized that your passive insight is quite higher than what is on your name.
It is.
I'm looking at your character sheet right now.
Maybe I forgot to update it.
I can see here that your insight is your passive insight should be 15, and there is 11 on your name.
It's probably when I did my updates. I will fix that for you now.
Right.
So we won't be useless anymore when it comes to spotting
You
stuff.
guys, we still won't see much stuff, but hey.
About 4% less useless.
But now you can understand motives better. That's good. I like it.
That's the way.
There we go.
All right. So Zeke, you move as a torch bug because you can command it, and actually the creature is you. To be completely honest, it's just a spiritual manifestation of your thoughts. So you command the creature by close to Alyssa, leaving the three of you in the dark on the bridge, and the torch bug is close to you, Alyssa, illuminating where you are and clearly on guard, and as much clear as you can understand the facial expressions of a torch bug.
I'm gonna wave my hands in front of it, because I still don't understand the concept that it is not just a bug. I'm just gonna be like, hey, buddy! You see the red stuff? The red stuff. follow. Okay? And then come back.
In the background, you hear me like shouting, right, I understand.
Yeah, like 20 feet away.
It's like in the middle there, looking at the both of them, like, wait, what?
After this funny situation, does the bug follow?
Yep.
Very well. It doesn't take long. It's not very far. But after 1-2 minutes of walk amid the trees, you can see where the blood came from, because the bug reaches a tree, and from that angle where the bug illuminates the tree, Alyssa can also see, because the bug sheds light. I mean, let's say the bug is here. Yeah, just so you can have a visual idea. The bug is here, so Alyssa is in the dark, but Alyssa can see. The bug is on a larger tree, and well, there is a lot of vines coming from this on the trunk of this tree, and there is also quite a lot of blood on the trunk, smeared on the trunk. This blood is a bit drier, and as the bug starts flying up and illuminating, you can see what you could only describe as some sort of cage / cocoon made of bead, beaker, some wood, some kind of wood stuff, vines, plant matter, dark green and stained red plant matter. There is this almost a cocoon. Inside this cocoon, there is this shriveled body of what was once a person. Try to picture a person was pinned down to the trunk of the tree, okay, and tied down with vines and stuff, and a cocoon around it. Its arms around the person's arms around the trunk of the tree, holding it. It's not very high off the ground, like 1 meter off the ground, but it's almost part of the tree, the way you can see it. The arms, the legs, and half of the face, the upper side of the face, are much more covered in vines and stuff. The lower part of the face has this slack jaw in an expression of suffering and pain open up, and you can see the lower jaw, the chest area, the abdomen area of this person. It's hard to say if it was a man or a woman, because it's completely shriveled, almost looks like a mummy. Very shriveled. But you guys can see that tiny pieces of vine, wicker, and oh my god, what is the those natural needles? Those natural needles that some flowers have penetrates the flesh of that person, once person, in a few different places, and from these wounds, some blood falls. But very importantly, there are fewer vines and stuff around the chest area, but the chest is open. Some vines enter to the chest and have slashed it open, not slashed, but pulled it apart. There is no heart inside, just a chest cavity, and some blood that spewed from the person, caked the ground, and then flowed down to the river. It's horrible. but there's some strange beauty in that because the vines and the tree have lots of some small reddish black flowers blooming. It's a kind of horror show. What do you guys do?
Well, this is all the bug seeing this.
And you guys can see because the bug is illuminating for you.
Oh, so it's not that
Oh
far
yeah,
away.
technically, Lissa, you're the closest.
Yeah, you
What do you
guys
wanna
are not that far. You can assume that where I'm pointing you guys here, you are on relative distance.
Okay,
You're not
yeah.
that
All right.
far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relative distance, or less.
Right. I'm seeing some rather disturbing things here. Lissa, what do you think?
I think I want to touch, but that we shouldn't.
I think this reminds me of the guy that grabbed me in the wicker battle. I think we should just head left and try to continue to the monastery. Just head left. Just left.
Just go left.
Just
Rain.
go left.
What I want to
definitely
know
goes right and
is,
goes up to the body.
I want to know who this fellow gave his heart to. Did no one hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think everybody is just too concerned with the dark shit to laugh at the joke.
Just
It's like too soon, man. Too soon.
Soon, man. It's so hard. Okay.
You guys do something to the body, or
Yeah.
are you going to avoid approaching and continue the path more or less upish hill?
Well, let me say it this
Alyssa
way.
hears-
This time, Spookner will not go in front.
Alyssa hears reason. She hears that it's reasonable. She goes to touch anyway.
Very well.
Right. Bug follows her.
As you approach closer to the tree, where the bug is eliminating the tree,
Stay right next to it.
and you can see in more detail now all the little details that I have mentioned. And like I said, it's not very far off the ground, 1 meter off the ground. Person is there. What do you want to know, Alyssa?
I want to see if I can trace the heart anyway, if it looks completely removed or if it's nearby.
Taking a closer look, you kind of need to climb some of the vines in there to almost put your face on the chest. But
That is not worth it.
Nah, she doesn't.
of course you have to avoid the needles, the
Thorns.
what is the proper English word? Thorns, right?
Thorns?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to avoid some of the thorns. Get there, but it's not completely impossible. And then you can see closer to the chest. The torch bug even approaches to give you a better view. You can see that inside it's a person. It's a person because there's flesh and supposedly to be organs and veins. It's just very, very shriveled. You do have a passive medicine of 15, so you can be pretty sure that this was a person, and it's not rotting away because it was exsanguinated, basically. It wasn't. Look by looking at the puncture wounds and the vines, you can be more or less certain that it wasn't exsanguinated from the heart. By the puncture wounds around the chest cavity, you basically understand that those needles, those vines, sucked the person's blood dry. Something sucked its blood dry from the using the needles and the vines and the thorns, and there was something attached to his chest. Something attached with needles and vines as well, perhaps accessing its heart or something.
So it doesn't seem like the tree was responsible. It was an external factor.
It doesn't look like this tree was responsible, but it looks like it was something external, yes, because whatever was attached, it's not anymore, and the vines, the weaker, are also a bit dry. The flowers appear to be some. You also have very high nature, so the flowers appear to be a byproduct of the drained blood and not the objective, draining the person's blood.
Okay, then I'm just gonna pick one of the flowers. And my last thing I want to know is, can I tell what race they were?
Well, yes. You can be pretty sure that it was the person was a human by the shape of the ears and the jaw. There's no the archish jawline. The size is not correct for a Darby. No thinner traits, scales and stuff. So most likely a human.
Okay. Then I'll head back to my people.
And also you're pretty sure it was a woman.
A woman, okay. Now I'm gonna head over back to my people. I'm just gonna give the little bug a pet because that feels appropriate.
Zeke sitting over there like, that wasn't my head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the pat.
The flower
that's nice.
smells wonderful.
Ah, that's weird. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's very sweet scented. Very sweet scented flower. Strong sweeted.
Ew.
Something smells. Something smells smokable around here. Something I haven't smoked before.
Oh! Oh no! Oh, yeah, I forgot the trait.
And they said, I'm dark.
This is just gonna put it in her coin pouch for now.
As a side note, I went to a sushi place with my girlfriend this weekend because it's Lovers' Day here in Brazil this weekend. And there was this upscale sushi, very beautiful, decorated and everything. And there were some purple flowers using as decoration. And then she picked her chopsticks, picks one of the flowers and put on the flowers on her mouth. That was like, really? Are you eating the decoration? The flowers? I know this is expensive and you want to make sure that you give value to my money, but you don't need to eat the flowers. Diego, these are edible. They are part of the dish. I'm not eating flowers. Come on. She forced me. And the flowers actually had a nice taste. They weren't bitter or anything. They were actually edible. That was very strange thing.
Yeah, growing up as well, because like I had a friend who would go around picking up the flowers and also just eating them in a specific way, and I always thought he was weird. And so he was like, no, just trust me. Here in South Africa, we have a weird flower that gets like a sweet nectar at the bottom where you pick it, and it was delightful. So yeah, it just grows in our
Crap,
backyard.
I haven't done that in forever.
Right? When was the last time you had one of
This was
those?
very strange, man.
those little drop down white flower buds. Oh wow, it's been a while.
I don't know what
Honeysuckle.
No, red as well.
Honeysuckle,
Yeah, honeysuckle. Exactly.
This is very weird. Eating a flower and not being bitter or weird or strange was very
Yeah.
weird.
Okay. To be fair, we also have this wonderful thing, which is oddly delicious, and yes, I confess, Mapani worms.
Oh no.
Haven't
No,
had
no,
it.
this
Yeah,
not go there.
so
This not
yeah.
go there.
So Elisa has this weird, nice smelly,
I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys.
Sure.
blackish red flower, but she hides the flower away on her kind pot. What do you guys do now? Do you want to know or do something more to the body, or are you proceeding?
And I tell them everything that I saw.
Can we leave now? Can we go?
I'm worried about this bridge. I have the sneaking suspicion we're gonna get 2 feet into it, and then everyone's gonna die.
That's
Over
a
it,
very
isn't it?
strange suspicion that Zeke has, because the bridge is like 10 foot across, and it's a very small creek, just a little water. So there's not enough water to get your guys, half your guys, cough in there. So it's a very strange suspicion.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, let's see. Head
responding
towards the
to you, Joris,
Yeah?
that's not this, it's this. Yes,
Yeah.
you can use, as you go, you can just use a bonus action to do it. So, okay, spend 2 sorcery points to create a first level spell slot. Alright,
Did it. Thank you.
welcome. Now, do you
Right,
guys
let's
continue
cross.
the path?
Right.
Very well. As you continue going, you're going slightly up. The torch bug illuminates the way, flying happily around you guys, in its wings, flying happily. And well, eventually the path comes to. You can clearly see that the path going up, not a lot, going up among the woods, leads up to fortified or larger building of sorts. You can see that you are. How can I say? You are on the more vertical side of the cliff, so to speak, and you can see that it leads to what could be the monastery, a larger building. But the path also goes right, a softer climb, not a such a vertical slope, a softer climb, and eventually looks like it gives a way to a less densely forested area. Enough that you can have a little light, a little moonlight coming from the trees, and you can see what appears to be a hamlet, a village of sorts. Perhaps not a village per se, but some extra buildings for the monastery, perhaps a place for servants to sleep, or quarters stuff. You have there's 2 options to go, or any other thing that you guys want. You do.
Right. So, I'm looking at this and thinking, maybe we should go, to the right. It looks a lot simpler, a lot easier, and maybe there are the people we'll be looking for.
Never hopeful, but sure.
Yeah.
Why are you thinking right sounds better? Left sounds better. You wanna climb?
I mean, right is always the right way.
Famous last words, don't you know?
Why does everything with you is last words and we're gonna die if we cross the bridge? I mean, we've made it this far.
Alright, you guys decide to not go to the large building and instead head to the more open area with less trees, and there appears to be some kind of village of sorts. Is that correct?
Indeed.
I guess it is correct, yeah.
In that case, there is
We'll kill you.
Yeah.
nothing that will kill you.
What?
That's what I said.
Why do you let me pick direction, guys? Why?
3 wrongs may not make a right, but 3 rights make a left.
Very well.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Very well. Let me guess. My notes. My proper notes.
You know, I always get scary when the DM does basically anything.
Yeah, as soon as DM's like, okay, I got notes, you're like, oh, these good notes or bad notes.
There was
So
a
you
video on
wanna-
TikTok.
I love how you guys are scared of basically everything.
Just like,
Yeah,
you want to
they-
go
they-
right? Well,
there was
now
a-
I
yeah,
want to
there
go
was a-
left.
There was a video on TikTok where it's like DM to his players, and the player's like, "I want to touch the sword," and the DM's like, "So you
Are
touch
you
the
sure?
sword?" He's like, "Well, I'm gonna go very near." He's like, "But do you touch the sword?" He's like, "Well, I extend my arm, but do you touch the sword?" He's like, "Yes, I touch the sword. What happens?" DM scribbling down furiously. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, you can add a sword to your inventory."
The sword is touched.
Yeah, there we go. The sword is attached.
Alright. As you approach, you can see from some distance. In fact, the woods is slightly more sparse forested because people probably use some of the trees before they settle the area. There is this not exactly village. You guys can see, not precisely a village, but more of a hamlet of sorts. There is a smattering of houses here and there. Sheds, more sheds than proper houses, and that small creek that you guys have crossed. The creek, it doesn't start here, but the creek flows downhill from here. So there's also that. And you guys can see from the distance, again, because there's moonlight giving a very soft dim light for you guys. You can see, well, a tool shed, a longer house that is perhaps used by servants. You can also see what appears to be a common house, not a tavern, but a common place for to have meals. You can also find an abandoned wagon. You know, a tiny tiny forest village, just like any other. If it wasn't for the fact that you don't see a single person there.
But I mean, it is midnight, right?
Yes, it's right in the middle of the night, and there is you can only see what I am describing because there's moonlight coming from this slightly more not forested area. It would be a very normal village if it wasn't for what I mentioned, but there's not a single person in there. There doesn't appear to be a single person in. There's this tiny other thing. There is some blood. Not a trail, but yeah. Some
Casually.
blood. Some trail of blood here and there. From this distance, in the dark, you see. And you guys are safely outside the perimeter of the village, so to speak. This small village appears to be built around this central tree, whereas there's very typical. There's like this larger tree on the center of the village, and then the houses surround this central tree. There is, yes, some.
I don't like it.
Yes. There's a path, a small path that leads to where you guys are, and there appears to be also a small path that leads uphill to the larger building. What do you guys do?
I think it's fair to set the bug.
So yes, I once again take my yogi-esque stance and start smoking my pipe furiously with my eyes closed. And while that happens, all of a sudden the bug just starts moving towards the place to take a closer look.
Your guys are going to use the bug as a
Bait.
as a scout. I was going to say scout. You can share your senses with the bug only up to 100 feet away. So I want to know if you will stay more or less within 100 feet, or if you are going to send it further.
Yes. I'll stop within the 100 feet, just so that I can, get feedback as much as I can see within that 100.
Well, there is the point that say it's not very far. 100 feet is not that far. So, in order to have that, you won't be
See too much.
no, you won't be safely away, so to speak. You have
Right.
two options. You have the option of you have the option of continuing this and not seeing much, or you have the option of getting closer to the village and staying within 100 feet.
So still eyes closed and everything. Right. So we're either going to have to move a bit closer, or I'm sending the bug in here blind, which means if anything happens, I ain't going to know about it. So
And there's one thing. Let me explain. You have a certain connection with the spirit. The spirit is not smart. You can give the spirit an order for the spirit to do something. Go there and do this, and the spirit will go. But it's not very smart. you won't be able to see through its eyes. However, you can command the spirit to go there emitting light. And then you guys won't be able to see through its eyes, but you will see its light. You were able to see as if somebody was entering the village carrying a small torch. So you could give an order for it to move around and stuff, and you guys will be able to see better.
Right. Let's pretend I explained that to you in a more folksy manner out loud to everyone else. But yes, what does everyone think? You want to move closer, or you think the bug will be all right on its own?
I'd rather stick with the lights.
Right. Stick with the light, as in go with it.
Stick with the light. I don't want to be in the dark.
Right. Anyone else? No?
Sure.
Alright. Alright. In that case, yeah, let's move a bit closer and see if we can kind of still use it. Like you said, we aren't quite safely away, but I'm still using it to scout.
Very well. Very well. Moving within 100 feet.
Like walking with my eyes closed within 100 feet of the bug, slowly, hands on someone's back, just like, it's fine, just, I'm looking through the bug, don't ignore me.
Well, it's just a bug. The DM needs to think.
Will the yeah.
See, I'm hoping to take advantage of its blind sight with like everything being dark, even if it gives off a little bit of light. I want this. I'm hoping that it'll give me a heads up as long as I'm within the 100 feet of it. If anything does move around in the darkness.
Yeah, my point is not exactly if something will move moving around the darkness. You will be able to see it. The thing I am pondering here is if something moving in the darkness would attack a simple large bug moving around.
Fair.
You know what? I think this is an excellent idea, to be completely. What is the bug's perception?
This is a good question. I don't even know how one would check. Where is that?
Open its character sheet, you have access.
There it is. Yeah, I did not see that part. Sorry about that. Let's see. So, passive perception 8.
Well, that is to be expected. That's to be expected. The bug wouldn't be perceptive. Okay. Okay. I got this. Going to be interesting. As you approach, I am assuming that you guys are trying to stay hidden among the trees. Or perhaps not, because you guys might not trust the trees. There is also this fact. So, how are you guys following? Sneaky, hiding behind trees, not trusting trees because trees are bad.
Are we at the buildings yet?
No, I am assuming that you are as far as you can be from the village proper. I just need to
Um,
know in order to, you know, not be.
Yes.
I will tree from tree.
Yeah, I'm with this on that. Like leopard crawl, sneaky.
Oh
like,
no, I'm not actually. I'm sticking to the trees.
Yeah, just like sneaky, just sneaky.
Very well. I see you guys trust the trees.
Just a little.
Just
It's
a
like
little
the lesser of
bit.
two evils.
I mean, trust is a big word.
Yeah. You guys don't fear the trees. No. That's even worse.
That's also not true.
There's no fire. I feel like the trees aren't going to attack us if we don't put out any fires. We're fine.
Oh, that's good. That is a good explanation. You might not be safe, but you think the trees won't attack you, won't come alive. You guys don't have fire. That's a good. That's
I mean,
good.
what are the odds it happens twice?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have jinxed it. Shouldn't have said that. No.
God.
Okay. As you approach, within 100.
Everybody roll initiative.
I need to roll initiative. I need to.
You're surprised.
100 feet is quite far, so it's pretty safe. To be completely honest.
Ah.
Hugely away, but it's enough for you to be properly hidden. Okay, let's go. As you move in closer, the bug is flying around. It's flying around the village, and his houses, as it illuminates, you guys notice some blood that I mentioned, some blood in there, and with your light, the bug can see that most of that blood surrounds the central, that large tree that the village appears to have grown surrounded it, and it's quite a lot of blood around it, to be honest. And actually, some puppets and some dream catchers on the branches of that tree, and some blood trailing on some of the houses and some of the buildings, and some blood on the trunk of the tree as well. What do you guys want to know? Yeah, the plan is working so far.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know?
I'm going to tap Zeke on the shoulder and be like, what if you fly the bug into the tree? Will it eat it?
Right. Right. I'm gonna take I want to take the bug and try and get it closer to the tree. Check, inspect the tree a bit.
What do you want to know?
There's no reaction from the tree, nothing moving as the bug gets closer. Can the bug touch the tree?
As in,
On it without it just like let's land on it. Let's just see.
as in a normal bug landing on a completely normal tree.
Yeah, going to the blood and like no reaction, nothing happens.
Okay. The completely normal bug goes to that completely normal tree and nothing special happens.
Yeah.
The bug lands on the tree. Normally, nothing bad happens for creep. And it's just happily lands the tree.
I got a feeling there's some bad juju around here. What do you think?
It looks like bad juju. That's very. It looks like bad juju. There's blood on parts of the tree trunk. There are the strange dream catchers on it. There's some creepy, scary stuff. Looks like bad juju.
Can you like send one of your can you send your bug into like one of the houses?
All right, not a bad idea. Can I get it to start trying to look inside of buildings?
Yes, that's possible. It's the creature is not huge, so to speak. Extremely huge nor anything. I don't see why not.
And yeah, it's gonna go pretty much just try to go to like the nearest building, pretty much, and go from building to building, just looking for any movement, any people, anything that just stands
Still
out.
pretending to be a completely honest to God random bug just there doing bug stuff, right?
Yep,
Just fly on the wall.
just like flying around, like, oh look, window, ding ding ding. Oh no, never
Don't
mind.
mind me, I'm just a
Nothing.
bug.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm just a little bug. Okay. That worked for me.
La dee la da da.
Yeah, it's just like the image. It's just a little bug flying around the village
Yeah,
during the
pretty
night.
much.
Nothing special here. So you can see some weird stuff as you move from some of the houses. You see blood. The bug sees blood around them. There is an inordinate amount of vines covering some of the houses. Perhaps you are just being paranoid though. They might be old wooden houses with vines on them. But as you enter one of them, you see signs of violence. Not all of them. A few of them are not exactly houses, are just sheds or tools and stuff. But at least one of them you see signs of violence. An upturned table and some blood in there, and a trail as if a body was dragged somewhere else. Do you follow the trail?
Yeah. Let's follow the trail.
The innocent looking bug just flies out of this door innocently and flying around. The trail leads to a shed next to this house. The door is closed, but it's not closed by a chain or anything. It's just closed. But the trail leads there. That's completely certain. There is some blood in there, and the bug can smell. You can see all the senses, not just sight. This is very important. Can smell the blood in there. The bug can smell the fragrant smell of flowers.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached a bit of a stumbling point. There's definitely something not right here. I think I found a body or something, but It's in a shed. There's no way my bug's gonna open a door. So either we're going down there or I'm calling him home and we're gonna just move along very swiftly.
Is the body still alive?
I doubt it. There's a trail of blood I think is dead. But it might have some answers, or it could just be, you know, a giant jackal monster eating something. So
if you want, you can continue looking for the rest of the village, quote unquote village.
As we're moving along, because I assume we need to keep up somewhat with our bug, have we now reached the village ourselves?
No, you haven't. You are safely tucked away on the trees outside of the village. The bug idea was very, very good. You are like 20 feet away from the closest building, so to speak. Not too many feet away from the closest building, but you are still on the safety of the trees, so to speak. Safety.
Okay, that's not too bad. How far away is the first little pool of blood we can see?
It's right there in the middle of the village. This was the first one that Zeke found, but it's right there in the middle of the village.
Okay, so there's no more trails of blood further out
There might be.
that we can see right now.
Close to you, no. It's just right there in the middle of the middle. And it's not a lot of blood. It's not just it's not just a few drops. Of course, it's not just
and then
drops.
there's
But it's not,
yeah.
but you have this feeling that there wasn't a lot of blood that wasn't wasted.
And then there's obviously the shed. So yes, what do you guys think?
It's not the only one, of course. If you go
Yeah.
around a little more with her
Yeah, yeah.
bug, you'll notice that there is a trail of blood and on others as well. But there's no pile of corpses, not anything. You didn't find anything of the sort yet. My question is, do you continue to scout until you have a good idea that you have scouted the whole village, or are you going to this shed?
Let's scout. Let's try to scout the rest of the village, before we try making decisions.
Do you all agree?
Sure, yeah.
If we scout the village, do we walk around it or
No,
go
that's
through it,
fair.
or
The bug will go
Yeah, but-
off. It just means that we're gonna stay in the bushes for a little bit longer instead of going and checking anything. Because obviously the bug can't go into the buildings and open doors because it's a bug. So it can't go into the shed and see where the blood trail goes or anything like that. It can just kind of look around surface level.
Mm-hmm. I am assuming then that the bug will do what a bug can before you guys decide for anything else. From this corner, you can fly around most of the houses. There's just one, the furthest one, that doesn't even look like a house, to be honest. More like a house of sorts. But this one is a little more far from the village, not just center of the village, so just can't reach that one. But besides that, there is some gardens with small farm, a small farm with vegetables that were planted in there. Nice care. Some blood in there as well. And some of the houses there are also markings of blood. There is this fragrant smell of flowers on the village. It doesn't smell awfully of blood, totally of blood. You don't see body on the streets and outside of the houses. One of the houses doesn't have its door because of violence. The door was taken down. Something happened. There's some blood on the door. There was a struggle. This one, there is a bit more of struggle, wood splinters, splintered furniture. Was some struggle and some blood was shed clearly from wounds. And then there's also trail of blood that the bodies were taken somewhere else. And a few houses were simply closed, and and the bug couldn't enter them.
Right.
Actually, your character would have thought of that. To be completely honest, the player might have not, but the character. But if you want, you could have reached to the chimeneas of the houses.
I see. But then it could end up getting stuck. But yes, that is something I could try. Right. Either way, I don't think. I don't know if we're gonna get more information in this way. If we're just gonna, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's see. Can it try? Let's see if there are any chimneys that we can try and get into.
The houses, the ones you understand that the ones that have chimneys are actual houses, and not sheds, not warehouses, not just a place to store stuff. You understand those that have, because people want to get warm. So it's not many houses, like 4 houses at most.
Yeah.
Really some kind of external servant quarters.
I see.
The bug can enter, can climb down the chimney. Yes, it can do it. Yeah, very normal.
Slowly and very carefully, we'll peek out through the chimney.
Try to picture this very very dark image of Zeke seeing through the eyes of the bug as the bug climbs down the chimney to be greeted midway by this strong smell of flowers and berries.